Oh, welcome back to the channel, townies. Tonight, we're in the heart of Van Nuys, California, where, would you believe us if we said, there's a restaurant inside a car dealership that's been serving made-from-scratch diner specialties since 1966. This is the Horseless Carriage, one of the most unique diners in Los Angeles. So join us for dinner and history that doesn't come with a 72-month lease. We'll see you inside. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Obviously, we are now on the patio of the Horseless Carriage here in Van Nuys, California, which is in the San Fernando Valley, which if you follow the show, you know that there's quite a few locations that we have gone to in the valley. But also, this can be confusing. So the question is, are we at a Ford dealership or at a restaurant that's been around since the, what, 60s?
Yeah, since the 60s.
Both can be true.
That's right. We're here at the Horseless Carriage at beautiful Galpin Motors
Galpin Ford.
in Van Nuys, California. This place was opened in 1966. It's kind of a Gucci, throwback to the diners of the day, and really nothing has changed since they opened. They kind of pride themselves on that. So the inside has got the cool booths, and there's a counter with all the stools lined up. We chose to eat outside because the inside gets a little crowded for dinner, so all but one table was taken. So
it's not very big.
No, it's not a big place. Well, guys, believe it or not, the story of the Horseless Carriage, even though it opened in 1966, actually starts all the way back in 1946 in the city of San Fernando, here in the San Fernando Valley. That's when Frank Galpin opened his first auto dealership. And it was a 3-car showroom. And that first year, he sold 46 cars.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. For 1946, it's pretty good.
Wait, when you say 3 cars, those are 3 options.
He could, in his showroom, like in his display, he could only line 3 cars up. It was a very, very small dealership at the time. I don't really know if a lot of people know this, but the reason that this place is called the Horseless Carriage is because when they came out with an automobile, but most people called it a horseless carriage because it looked like a carriage, and it wasn't drawn by a horse, so it was called the Horseless Carriage. So when they opened this restaurant, they decided to take the name the Horseless Carriage, kind of a little tongue-in-cheek and a nod. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I literally did not think that. That's awesome.
Yeah, kind of a neat little bite of history.
Takes on a whole new meaning.
Obviously, you probably guessed it, Galpin was very successful at selling cars. He was actually known in the early 50s to do what he called galvanizing cars. It stemmed back from 1950s, where he would take Fords, bring them into his showroom, modify them, soup them up a little bit, give them a little extra horsepower, maybe make them a little bit, sportier, and then sell them at a premium to his customers who were looking for something that was a little different than the average car that your neighbor would have. So galvanizing became sort of a thing for Galpin Motors.
Oh, that's a thing.
So yeah, galvanizing has been a thing here since basically they opened. Like I said, early 50s. They might have been open for a couple years before they started, modifying their cars. And they do it up until today. As a matter of fact, I bought a car at this dealership a few years ago that was galvanized. It was lowered, had special rims, it was tinted. So it's kind of a neat incentive that you can come here and kind of get something that is a notch above the base model, which is pretty cool. Another thing that Frank Galpin was really into was racing. He actually, in the 50s, started a whole race division here at Galpin Motors, which continues to this day. They race cars from the dealership up until this day. So they've been doing that ever since.
I didn't know there's a thing, galvanizing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they invented it because it's his name.
Do other dealerships do that now?
Yeah, so it became really popular. So a lot of other dealerships kind of took the cue, and now you can go into a dealership and they'll have like a select, I mean, they're different for every dealership. They don't call it galvanizing. That's a Galpin thing, but you know, you can go into a dealership and they'll have fully loaded cars with a little extra oomph. You know, maybe some performance parts or a different exhaust or a rim package, something that kind of sets it apart, that stands out a little bit, that helps sell the cars.
Well, we did start with, it is happy hour, by the way.
Yeah.
7 days a week, gotta love that. So we are starting with the spinach artichoke dip. Looks good.
So, in 1966, Galpin Motors outgrows its location in San Fernando and decides they're going to travel a little bit northwest to a newly undeveloped area where they can buy a whole large plot of land, and they build one of the largest car dealerships in the country. They build Galpin Motors right here on the corner of Roscoe and Sepulveda.
Yep.
In the San Fernando Valley. It's an entire city block. But during the layout and build, Bachman, who was the general manager at the time, he had an idea. He thought it would be pretty cool that if they put a restaurant on the premises, then customers would have a place to go, basically, and mull over, the offers that they were given and the deals that they were given, or they could go there while their cars were serviced. Mm-hmm. It kind of gave them a little bit of like an experience when going to a car dealership. Sort of changed the game a little bit for them. And the owner, Frank Galpin, thought that was an excellent idea, and the Horseless Carriage was born. Started in 1957. And he became the general manager here at Galpin Motors. And then in 1968, 2 years after they built this complex, he actually bought the dealership from Frank Galpin and became the owner and CEO of Galpin Motors. Kept the name Galpin because it's a brand name here in Southern California.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. He's owned, his family owned it ever since.
So Galpin didn't really own it that long.
No. Galpin owned it from 1946 to 1968. So about 22 years. But he sold it to his general manager, who already had a stake in the game and knew the place and knew the customers and knew the merchandise and knew the restaurant. And, the rest is history.
Well, like Matt mentioned, we have purchased cars from here. My mother has purchased 2 cars.
That's right.
Through here. So we know this place very well because this is where they send you and they're like writing up the paperwork. I mean, you know, if you've bought a car, it's such a long, could be horrible process just because it's so, like, you have to plan on like a full day.
As a matter of fact, they have an incentive where the salesman will write you a ticket and you bring it here and they buy your lunch for you.
Right.
So you don't even pull your wallet out.
This will be the first time that we're eating here where we have to pay.
Yeah, well, actually, that's a true story. We've been here a couple times during the service process.
Yeah.
Never paid for our meal.
Never paid for it. I mean, I'm talking like soup to nuts.
Yeah, soup to nuts.
Like when my mom came in to buy her second Ford from the same gentleman, Ruben gave my mom and myself 2 tickets, and literally it was like soup to nuts, drink, meal, dessert. And it's really just is an amazing, for such a long, tedious process that, like, personally, I think as a woman, like, I hate it. It's just hard to find a pleasant experience in car buying. So to have a moment where you can, like, go get something to eat, not have to pay for it, grills.
Yeah, it's next level. And honestly, this started in 1966. And to this day, it's still one of the best experiences I've ever had purchasing a car. I'm a little older, so I've purchased a few cars in my day, and I got to say, like, having a place to go, grab a burger while they're working on your paperwork changes the game.
But we're just saying that for our experience, every dealership should have a friggin' diner attached to it.
Yeah.
That's my take.
So, like Lindsay mentioned a little earlier, this place has a happy hour every day.
We think. At least through Saturday.
Yeah, at least through Saturday.
Probably tomorrow too.
In addition to that, they have a bunch of specials. Lindsay jumped in feet first because guess what these guys have? They have a prime rib special.
Yeah.
Tell them about this.
Okay, well, typically I would never come to what I perceive as a diner and ever order like a steak. And I mean, maybe that's just me being bougie. I don't mean to be like that, but I mean, you usually don't get the quality.
That being said, a place like this, a diner, they don't usually have prime rib and rib eyes and stuff like that. When you order a steak, it's usually like a New York strip.
Yeah, it would be like exactly. Yeah, so this is unusual. Happy hour was buy one, get one free wine, which...
Or margaritas.
Which, Lindsay was like, yes. $4 to $5 off of appetizers. So the artichoke dip was normally $14. It's $10. So get a little bit of a break. So then the lady comes out to take our order, and I asked her about this prime rib special. Not only does it come with a glass of wine, it's $12 cheaper than the menu price of it. If you're just, I guess, if you weren't going to get the special, you get a free glass of wine with it. Of course, a baked potato, super salad, which I got the salad, and dessert.
Yeah.
That is a deal. So I'm like, hoping, guys, it's good.
And we're not talking like a tiny salad. This thing's pretty substantial.
Let's look at Ohio salad.
It's like got two dressings. I mean, they didn't skimp. $36 for a prime rib dinner. Yeah. With dessert, salad, and an alcoholic beverage.
Sign me up.
Where else are you going to find that in the city? If you tell me, because I don't know. I know what you're thinking. How does a place like this up the ante? Kind of keep up with the times. They opened in 1966. They've been doing what they've been doing since then. So in 2003, the Bachman family made a pretty important decision. And they decided to bring on an executive chef, Giovanni Uceda. He was from the Beverly Hills Hotel, actually.
Oh, wow.
And he was part of the culinary team there, which is, obviously very well known. They somehow lured him into to the Horseless Carriage, and he basically broke down the menu and added a bunch of very high-end menu items to kind of take the Horseless Carriage from just your everyday diner to a place where you can go and get something that's a little bit above the norm, like Lindsay's prime rib.
Wow.
They also brought in like ribeye steaks with reduction sauces. They have lobster
tails.
For breakfast, they have crab cakes and crab cake Benedicts, which are off the charts. He brought an entire new wave of pasta dishes, chicken piccata. You basically the menu, and you can look it up online. So yeah, this place is sort of a notch above what your normal diner would be. As a matter of fact, they opened a Denny's across the street, and that's gone out of business. This place is cranking every day. Their breakfasts are off the hook. Belgian waffles, pancakes, like you name it. And
well, they have a built-in audience.
Yeah, they absolutely have a built-in audience. One of the things Chef Carlos says is that he has to delight the patrons. The customers at Galpin are always their number one priority. It was Bert Bachman's goal to have a place that customers could go and relax during the car buying experience to kind of bring them out of the stress that usually comes along with it, which was brilliant. But he said that the hardest part about running the kitchen is that they serve 400 meals a day to the staff.
Wow.
Here at the complex. And he said those are the ones that are really tough because you're going to see them every day.
Yep.
Like if there's a bad meal and you're a customer, you don't come back, right? But these guys are here every day. So he has to make sure that the quality is there.
That's funny.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty poignant.
And true, though.
Yeah. So today, Galpin Motors and the Horseless Carriage is owned and operated by Bert's son. He took over the operation in the 2000s. His name is Bo Bachman, and he's now the president and COO of Galpin Motors.
Go Bachmans.
Yeah, so it's still family owned to this day since 1968 when Bert took it over from Frank Galpin, and today Bo is continuing the vision of his father and Frank Galpin, and delivering quality customer service to all of its patrons here, and continuing the legacy of the restaurant to this day.
So smart.
Yeah, that just shows the love of somebody like Bert Bachman and his family, that they knew that this place was something special, knew that they had something here, and when it came time for Frank to retire, they were the right choice.
Well,
guys, I ordered the Reuben special, which is a stacked Reuben sandwich, sauerkraut, Thousand Island dressing, and Swiss, and I got onion rings to go with my Reuben, because it comes with fries, but for a little bit more you can do it. And they gave me ketchup, and they gave us ranch dressing. And what's a fun fact about this ranch dressing, Linz?
So when our lovely server came out, she said we make all of our sauces here in house.
So ranch dressing, house made.
I mean, come on, guys. Where else are you going to go for a diner? You're not going to go to Denny's and find a house made.
That is the difference between a diner and going to a place that has an executive culinary team, a chef. I'm not kidding. Like that's,
no, I know.
Like it is.
It's true.
It changes the game. Anyway, we're going to get some of this food in us here, and we'll be back.
I'll let you know how the prime rib is.
Well, I'm sitting and wondering, the matchbox hold my clothes. Well, I'm sitting here wondering, with the matchbox hold my clothes. I ain't got no matches, but I sure got a long way.
We're going to finish this up, guys, and we'll see you outside. Oh my gosh, guys, we are outside of the Horseless Carriage, and we are stuffed. Absolutely stuffed.
Never thought we'd spend $91 at a diner that's not really a diner. So we had a lovely little conversation with our server who's been here for over 20 years.
That's right.
Everything's made from scratch. She says this is because the owner and his family dine here at least, what did she say, 3 times a week?
3 times a week.
But they want it to be quality. They want it to be good. So $91. I didn't do a little Lindsay's Cost Corner, but it wasn't the cheapest diner. It wasn't a Denny's, but at least we felt like this place has heart. This place has care. And sometimes, like, you can't ask for more than that.
That's right. I mean, you kind of get what you pay for.
But you've heard us say that. You've heard us say so many things. But what you really waited this long for was, of course, the Sasquatch Scale!
Guys, I hate to break it to you, but this place is going to get a single squatch.
Single squatching. Matt was going to be more generous. I apparently am less generous. The booths inside are very tight.
Yep.
There's only like 6 or 7 of them. There are no tables inside.
No tables.
Tables outside where we chose to sit.
Yep.
But those are still really tight. Like this is not for our big hip babies.
Yeah. It was a tight sit.
Yeah.
But these vintage places, like we said, are always a little bit tighter than modern restaurants.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna head off to the next spot like we always do. But before we skedaddle, make sure you like and subscribe below. You know the routine. It's really helping us get to new places. We've got a lot of cool spots lined up for you, and we can't wait to bring them to you. So until we see you again,
Stay hungry.
we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye, guys.